and Breakdowns.
Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We have a pretty cool episode today because it's another return guest, but they're in the new spot, and I'm kind of excited because like they were here during when we were doing this out of the apartment, and I think it's fucking sick that we're doing it again and we're back in a new place. But today we have guys in the deep end. What's going on?
What's up, man? Thanks for having us back.
We got a bit of a full room again, you know. Which is cool. I like that I've been able to do that now. We're just like without having to switch people in and out and stuff like that. So everybody can talk it, you know, whenever they want to have something to say.
I can see my lovely boys right here. It's good. It's hanging out, just hanging out. Yeah,
just hanging out, man. So it's been what 2 years since the last time y'all?
Almost,
were here?
yeah, a little over a year. I think October 2022. So we're getting there. Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, I was watching the old footage and everything, and just listening back. I mean, yeah, it's really. I guess especially what we were talking about in the last one, I can't believe how much we've accomplished or have done and gotten through and whatnot since then. Because the last time we talked was November of 2022 is when we released Americant.
Yeah, it was.
And now I mean we got like a couple singles out and the EP, and we just released another single not too long ago, and we're starting to get the formula down. It's becoming a lot easier. I'm feeling a lot more confident about what we're all doing here, and it's surreal again.
What's going on, everybody? It's OC, your host for the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast, and I'm here today to talk to you about Full Step Go. Now, as you can see today, I am dripped in it. I got the shirt, I got the hat, but Full Step Go is a lot more than just clothes. It's more than clothing, it's a culture. Full Step Go has always been a symbol that cultivates a community of creativity and growth. Whether it's music, artwork, clothing, they are all over the map making waves. They truly do inspire creatives to uncover their potential and discover their true selves. There really is no limits when it comes to your creativity. So follow Full Step Go to join the new counterculture movement and go against the mainstream.
Where you were mentioning like comparing the new EP compared to like the first EP, but out on like just the increase in like, is it just quality that you're looking at, or just like the writing itself?
I think
everything overall, right?
I would say everything overall, but I would say the writing and or not so much the writing, the quality, because I feel like I'm still writing wise. I feel like I'm still pretty much where I'm at, and I feel like my best stuff writing wise just is, it always comes to me in like a spur of the moment kind of thing. I feel like if I'm sitting down and I'm like really trying to sit down and like I'm gonna write a song, you know what I mean? And then I'll just sit there on like 4 different bars or something and just have like all these drafts and all these notes and stuff like that. And it's really when I'm just, I guess for lack of a better term, like just inspired all of a sudden, or like you just kind of, I don't know. I mean, you write, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, when like it just kind of, all of a sudden you're just sitting there and it's like everything's just kind of coming piece by piece, and then sometimes you're reading back and you're like, fuck, this shit's tough, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like writing wise is about that same level, but the quality overall, I think, has increased tenfold if you listen to anything off the self-titled EP compared to either anything on this new EP or the new single. I personally feel like it's night and day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can definitely like tell the difference. Now I know not as much as like you're going to, because like you exactly like know what you're listening for, but you definitely see like the trajectory like moving up as far as like quality and stuff. As far as writing on the latest EP, I was listening to it, and there's I can't remember the specific song titles, but I don't know why I picture very like surfing riffs. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, but is that purposeful? Because I've only seen them like pop up on like certain songs.
Self-doubt is the most.
I would say. I mean, it's very like a kind of floor tom, boom, bap, bap, boom, bap, bap, boom, bap. So,
So like someone who like doesn't like know like where you would like
I think we
had
more of like a thrash influence on that last EP.
Okay.
Just like Burn for the Future, Smoke in My Eyes.
Okay.
Even though
we had Self Doubt before all those other songs came together.
Well, I sat on Self Doubt for like a year.
And that was one where we just I don't want to say it was like filler, but it I feel like it fit the overall. Like it's a good middle song, like for where we put it and everything. But yeah, definitely like some type of surfer punk kind of chill band. We actually played that song last night and played it really fast. And
really?
Way more aggressive,
Okay.
And it almost sounded like a completely different song. Yeah. To be honest with you, we got some feedback from that. Some people were like, "Oh, that's really good," and my dad was there, and he was like,
"You didn't like it?"
No.
Yeah, my dad was like, "He's like, slow
back
down, man, because we play already. Even with what you hear, if we're playing live, we're just hammering it out.
Yeah.
So we play a lot faster live anyway. So I think." Yeah, he's a boomer. He's an old guy. He doesn't know.
I feel like that's the thing though with live, especially if like.
Shouts out to Rob.
Yeah, shout out to my dad.
I always noticed that when like my band would play before we like played to a click or anything like that, we would just play fucking straight, and I feel like it was always fun. But every time if I ever recorded a set or something like that, it was always faster than what and it's really cool because you go with your intensity of like whatever you're like feeling. The band's fucking like and it's fucking speed it up, and then like everybody works together accordingly, you know what I mean? But it is like what really like matters, I guess, to the sound. Like, is it matter that it's on time? Because some people have like, even when they play the clicks, like their live set will be 5 or 10 BPM, like faster than what the actual song is. But they're still playing to a click, but they are playing to like a faster BPM, like on purpose.
So for us in. I don't want to speak for the boys, but I feel like we're all kind of like we don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever played with a metronome.
Cat's out of the bag. We don't play to the click.
We don't know how to keep time.
Can
we say
shitty? But that was at first that was a big issue because like when the first time we went to see Luis to record at Crooked Tooth. That I think we had to end up going back like 2 or 3 times.
It was a disaster.
And just paid for like 2 sessions. Because we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And eventually he just kind of was like, because he can put everything in analog and just mic everything up. And so we'll just go in that room. And from this first EP all the way to the single that we just dropped, we're still just playing like it's a practice. Everything's recorded live. Everything's at the same time. And then certain tracks, like sometimes we'll have the guitar, we'll have the bass, and then obviously vocals. After it's all laid out, we'll go in and just add over, and then he can pick and choose.
But y'all record all in the same room together? Yeah. That's fucking tight.
Yeah, so we don't. I mean, still, we don't use a metronome at all. So everything is based on, which is why I think that like our live shows, we do just tend to play faster because it's like a combination of a lot of things, adrenaline and just sometimes it's just like I just want to fucking get this over with, and not that we're not having fun, but it's just like the nerves are there, man. Yesterday. We played at the Thunderbird roller rink in Plano, Texas. It was our first ever hometown gig for the Assassination City Roller Derby League. And that's like the most nervous I think I've ever been like playing beforehand because it's such a different type of crowd. It's hometown. We've all been going to this roller rink for like since we were like kids, you know what I mean?
Our upbringing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a Plano staple, man. Anybody from Plano watching, you already know what I'm talking about. The Thunderbird roller rink. Everybody from Plano.
I've been to it once.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
A friend of mine like. She was talking about trying to do roller derby, and it's like he's like, do you want to go see it? Like, I don't even know. It's
a game,
I don't know what the right term is. Go see a set. And I was like, where? And it was like, it's like right there, like in Plano. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so we went, and it was fucking tight. I was like, this is fucking cool. Like,
it's time.
It's very different.
It's all original carpets.
The point system works. I don't know.
I was like, there's no way I'm gonna figure it out in the one go. But
someone's keeping.
But like what you're saying, like you're going into a crowd that is not your normal crowd because they're like
not
you
at
go
all.
play them like at a set or some at a venue or whatever. Like they're there to see a show, but like these people are here to see the derby.
Exactly. And so getting the feedback that we got, which I would say overall it went really well. I think.
Well,
It was pretty
Also,
fun.
we had to like be out of our comfort zone a bit because we had to be PG because it's a family friendly event.
Yeah, so
a lot
all
of our
covers,
songs,
yeah, no cussing.
we couldn't play.
Yeah,
And then
so.
the words we had to swap out. We had to like.
Yeah, there was.
How was that?
So
process?
I mean, by the end of it, I was really leaning into it just
Yeah.
because I think everybody kind of, especially the originals that we did play, people got the vibe and the covers that we chose to do, which were a lot of just crowd pleasers, Green Day, and we played "Lit," My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, just like throwing it back, so
Killer riff.
Ramones, yeah, and.
Misfit.
Yeah, I mean, at first it was what I would do to self-censor is I would just say the same word like twice and just keep it pain. But by the end of it, we played Big Lizard by the Dead Milkmen, and he says, you should see the way it shits. And I was like, you should see the way it poops, like just real enunciated.
Yeah,
poops,
Heartbeat.
Yeah, and I don't know, it was at that point. What it was also a big difference with it. I think something that kind of kept me on edge the whole time is like the way that we play the gig there is so it's like you said it's a fucking roller derby game. We're just like the side entertainment. So it would be like you would go through the game. It would be like a half, and then we play this little intermission.
Yeah.
And then there's like there's 2 games, so we're playing for the 2 games. So it's like the half, quarter, halftime, the intermission between the 2 games, and another. So we did 3 10-minute sets. Which, speaking of 10-minute sets, the
long
10 minutes.
well because it wasn't 10 minutes.
Oh, what do you mean?
It was
like 18 minutes.
Yeah, dude. It was like
yeah.
they gave us like 15, 20 minutes an intermission. I'm like, dude,
But we were told.
But you were told to.
Yeah,
Oh, that would-
absolutely. Yeah.
that
No,
would
it was.
fuck me up.
so we
it
only
was
had
bad.
prepared material for 10
songs out of
minutes.
our ass.
Yeah,
we're
I
like,
feel that.
Yeah, it was not good. And
Which
then-
I feel like coming from like maybe people who aren't used to like structuring a show or something like that, they'd be like, oh, what's the difference between like 10 minutes and 8?
They have no idea.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
not a clue.
Where it's like
if they didn't know, they do now because we were just up there just bullshitting. I mean, just
We're trying to make comments.
trying to talk,
like,
making the same
yeah.
shout outs like every
Making
couple
the same
minutes,
shit.
just like,
Shout out
hey,
to
we
the
got
team.
merch. They got merch. Let's give it up for the ladies. You know what I mean? The roller derby, huh? Yeah, we're from Plano. Did you know that? We're from
Yeah.
Plano.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
You don't know us, but we're
Yeah.
from here. We grew up in this roller rink.
Yeah, and it's
That was
but it
really
was
cool.
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. It was me and Julian kind of I think had a weird moment where because it's BYOB, so
Oh shit.
you
Okay.
just, yeah, dude.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we had a wagon full of just beer.
yeah.
Like to the
And,
side of our stuff.
there's
Say a
some,
wagon?
there's,
Yeah, we
yeah,
brought a
yeah.
wagon, yeah.
And,
Brian's just like, oh, we're here.
oh, yeah,
It's like, we're this type of fucking band.
This is our
Oh, they
equipment.
definitely. Yeah, by that last set, they knew. They knew.
They
we were
knew.
that- They knew we were that type of band. But it's one of those weird, like I kept saying it the whole time, like full circle moment, being there, cracking a beer at like on the roller rink. That I mean, dude, I've been going there for 15 fucking years, man. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So. Yeah, it was something. It was something. You know,
Yeah.
I never thought in a million years we kept saying that to each other. Like, you gotta ask me 10 years ago that we'd be here playing a gig at Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Like, playing it. Yeah, no, it never.
I wouldn't even
Yeah.
believe we'd be in a band,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I never thought we'd be here. And
Yeah. It was cool, man.
Yeah.
It was cool.
That have y'all played anything else similar like that? Or is this like the first like kind of
That's
unorthodox?
probably the
kind of
coolest
that-
venue.
This is the coolest,
Unorthodox.
yeah,
Yeah.
the coolest show
This
we've
is
done
this
so
is
far.
definitely like. It's not really even a gig. Like, it is a gig,
Yeah.
but like we're just a live entertainment kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like you said, like
What did they have
People
before?
were-
I think
the one-
live entertainment before
had some like
event.
it was a clogging. There was
Yeah,
like
it's a clog
clog
team,
team, like
you know?
these cloggers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So they just
you
get
know,
like,
yeah.
like a sporting event. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have halftime
Gotcha.
shows.
we were the halftime entertainment.
Yeah, we're
Pretty
not
much.
even the main event because the main event, this is the game.
Yeah.
But we're just there, like,
That's interesting.
I do
It
gotta
was-
say
it was
also,
really cool.
I'll shout out Assassination City, roller derby league. Go catch a game anywhere. It's super crazy.
It's fun.
It's hard to keep up with if you really don't know what you're looking because they'll explain it to you and
Yeah.
stuff. But like the score for the first game at the end of the night was like 75 to like 160 something.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
How?
when did that
almost happened, but
How did
somebody
that
got their
happen?
ass beat, right? Like,
Yeah, dude, these ladies go flying. There was a couple. I'd been to one prior, to this at Thunderbird, and this one specifically, like, I mean, it was no holds barred. They were throwing bows, and you know, some ladies were going flying. You know what I mean?
Yo, those falls like sound loud as fuck,
absolutely.
and they echo in the place. I remember that.
Sliding, you know, and everything like that. Because I think what it is like the way it works is for roller derby. And we'll keep this brief so I don't derail the whole conversation about roller derby. But it's like you got there's like this chick with the star on her helmet called the Jammer. I think I could be wrong. And it's like, you know, everybody else is, I think, called like a blocker. And so basically the point of the game is this chick's got to just push through a wall of other chicks, and every person that she passes is like a point. So that's why I'm like, I was like, man, if it's like 120 something, they're just doing laps. Yeah. Like just getting around, stacking up points and stuff like that. And then, you know, you get checked, or they'll like grab you and like whip you under them and stuff like that to give you, I don't know how they do. A lot of skating backwards. You know, it's, it's crazy. Fun. It's super cool.
It was impressive. It was cool to watch.
Yeah. The vibe is awesome.
Skills for sure. They got
good turnout. Everybody's was really kind. And like the reception that we got it was cool. It felt very validating coming from people that like obviously like don't, you know, I don't want to say see bands like us often, but you know, the other bands that we've seen there, have you ever heard of Bubby? You ever heard of Bubby?
Bubby? Mm-mm.
But they're like a local, probably like, I'd say like kind of indie rock, kind of like slow jam. I met them over there at the other one, and it was just like a completely different vibe. They're a lot, you know, more like kind of jam band, like they're bringing the funk and stuff, and then we're just up there, you know, sounding like delinquents, you know what I mean? And
it's cool that they're like open to like having, you know, different styles.
Absolutely. Right, absolutely. I felt like we brought something to it, you know what I mean? Yeah, and then they got cloggers, you know, clog team, you know what I mean? And but I think it's, like you said, it's good that they're open, but I feel like it brings a different vibe every time, you know what I mean?
I think just as like a band, it just brings like a fucking cool experience to add to like the bonding. I was like, oh, remember when we played like fucking
the roller,
I'll be talking about this for the rest of my life.
Like my old drummer, like that was his thing. Like he loved playing like the weird fucking
the bowling alley shows and stuff like that.
So literally, you bring that up, and they played a bowling alley.
Oh man,
and it was like not our band, but it was his older band. And actually, DJ was in that band too. But there's a fucking great photo out there, and it's DJ, and he would do vocals in this band, and it was like a thrash metal band. So he's like in the middle of like, it's like a fucking Sunday, like people have their families out and whatnot, and they're playing like there's no stage or anything, they're just like the floor on the carpet, and you see like it's like fucking colorful polka dot ass fucking carpet that they have in bowling alleys, like old bowling alleys. And he's just playing. You could see the picture. He's like screaming, and there's a kid, little like maybe like a 4-year-old, just walking by.
Going like that.
Just can't handle.
Oh, that's fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that sounds fucking like a nightmare playing at that. And then like Eddie, who was our old drummer, he was like, no, Eddie, who plays in Treehouse now.
Oh no!
He played it. It was a band called Arsenal Failure. Oh man! And he was like, "No, I love all those fucking weirdo shows because I know they played like a flea market once too. You know, in that band."
Eddie's a fucking machine too, man. When he's up there,
I
know, but he gets.
I'm pretty good too.
I
guess now.
I think he works really well in like a place where they let him be loose.
Yeah, like absolutely, absolutely.
Because we ran. I mean, you can ask Eddie, but like we ran into the issue where you're talking about going into the studio and recording, and then they're like, "Oh fuck, it's hard to be on time." And we were playing metalcore, so that shit like has to be on the fucking dot. And I don't think we knew exactly what that was. So like that's the problem we ran in with drums and like, oh shit, like, you know, we thought we were on time and we aren't, you know, and it's got to be like super
very
like
precise,
that, in that you know style. Because we did it once before. I think we recorded one song where we ended up doing, and it was at Crooked Tooth with it wasn't Lewis, it was Ricky, who was out of there for a little bit. But we did live drums there, and you could feel how it did feel a little looser. But I feel like that song particularly maybe worked.
Sometimes it works.
But you know, it works. I think there's bits and places like where it comes.
If the band's tight enough, it'll flesh in together. You know?
Yeah. Is this the only band you've played in before, or have you played with other bands?
I mean, with the Deep End, I've like filled in on drums with other bands and shit. Okay. Toxic Madness.
With like recording and stuff like that.
Yeah, just live performances.
Just live performances. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first band you're just doing recording. Yep. How has that process been for you? Like as far as
to be honest, I mean, I feel like I should get back into trying to play with the click, getting tight like that. But I mean, the way we have it down now, it's like we get in there, we're all in the same room. I mean, like me and Roberta, like, typically your drums and your bass are filling on your rhythm, playing off each other. But the way we started the band, we didn't have a bass player to start out, so it's just. Oh yeah, shit. me and the guitarist, yeah. So I feel like I don't know, we feed off each other pretty well.
Yeah.
Just get grooved in. Sometimes we hijack it and we do our own thing, but
we lock in.
It's way more fun, to play.
It's like it's this energy thing that like like I said, I don't think like it necessarily like everything has to be played to a click, because some of that stuff you need that like raw feeling energy when it comes to music. And like the style that y'all play, I feel like that calls for even a little more. Like it needs to have that freedom feel.
A lot of the time, but there's been some moments, right?
There's some
off the rails back there.
There's also a point to like whenever you record stuff like that, when you hear like new music or like the newer Blink-182 or Green Day albums, like they're so perfect, like on that tempo that it sounds unnatural. Yeah, and we're like
too digital.
And in some of the older albums, like you can hear the imperfections, which I like that. I like that you can hear that coming through.
Yeah, I would say like we're not striving to. We're not striving to have a perfect sound or like to be on time with everything or to keep the same cadence with it. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's just like you can as long as you're feeling what we're putting down. At the end of the day, man, I like to say that we are a punk band. You know what I mean? And we're not like thrash punk or pop punk or I just just punk, like just like we're
simplify it.
You know what I mean?
Don't overcomplicate things.
There's no
to the roots.
I don't feel like I have to like dress a certain way or look or act a certain way. You know what I mean? Like it's just I'm just doing this for like the fun of it, and also like the DIY aspect of like we're really just doing this. Like we don't have like metronomes and shit, and like maybe the way that we're writing riffs and the way that I'm writing songs isn't necessarily like
conventional
the way to do it, or conventional, but it's like we're able to the whole reason we're able to do this is because I've known these two guys like my whole life, and we all, I would say, share the same passion for music. I mean, everything kind of felt that really the only person in the band who like has a spot, like Roberto's like he's been playing for 10, 15
musically
years.
Proficient.
You know what I mean? I've never sang a day in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Prior to this, Julian's like always had a drum set growing up and everything, but it's like he's probably better at playing guitar and bass and stuff. But it's like we all three connect in a certain way where like I feel like it for lack of a better term, almost just kind of comes naturally. You know what I mean? To an extent.
Exactly. Vibe, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about the fucking vibes, dude. And I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like that does come across in our music. You know what I mean? And you could just kind of hear, especially with the progression when you listen to our first EP, which came out in 21, compared to this one that came out in February. Like you can hear the growth, and then everything in between, our single and the Americans EP and everything like that. And I feel like we're still trying to find an identity, but sometimes just not having one is the identity, I guess. You know what I mean? For what we're doing. You know what I mean? And
whoa, that just got deep. In the deep end.
Right? Shut the fuck up.
This is a deep end moment.
Yeah.
I think it just keeps you open, like to be able to play whatever the fuck you want to play. Like if you feel like playing whatever genre you want to, or add like weird shit. Like I'm saying, like when I like saw some of the way you were talking, like the surf stuff that I was kind of like, oh, that's something I wasn't expecting. I thought that was fucking cool to be thrown in there. You know what I mean? Right. But if you want to do that, you can do that. But if you're like a stickler to like, oh, I got to stick here to this box, like it's just fucking weird. Like you know what I mean? You can decide like, this song or this, record, like I want it to have this vibe, but being open and be like, oh, the next one can change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's fucking
and
cool.
I feel like we've done that, man. I mean, with the Americans EP, that was very much like, we're trying to send a message, man. We're trying to,
political.
I'm 23 years old and the intellectual and fucking I know everything, and all that stuff. And I'm like, whatever.
A lot of shit was going on at that time,
Yeah, around that time, but
stuff to talk about.
It's like at this point we're just writing music, and like it might sound a certain way. We've kind of gotten to a point where it is getting a semi-formulaic, but we always spice it up a little bit. You know what I mean, and think of different stuff. We got a bunch of shows booked out I know we're playing at Halton with you guys. I know DJ's putting us on June 15th.
June 15th.
At Halton. And then we got 3 Links on the 27th of June. That'll be fun. And then we're doing July. One's kind of in the air. I think July 12th or something like that. The 2 Watts, another punk duo, DFW. They're like an older couple, and they fucking rock. Definitely check that out. Shout out the 2 Watts. They're awesome. They're putting us on, or asking if we're down to play Happy Hippie Brewing in Richardson, Texas.
Interesting.
Which, it's just crazy. I used to live in Richardson before I moved to Denton, and it's crazy, like, going back to, like, hometown and playing there. So, and then on July 20th, we'll be playing at Growl again with the Grand Dams and Treehouse and all that. And Treehouse will be with us at 3 Links as well. So that'll be pretty fun. But after June, July, these next couple of months, I think, like, for August, September, we're just going to go back on that, take a little hiatus for a minute from, like, the live scene, just kind of focus more on writing again, and maybe hopefully getting, like, some visuals out, like some real visuals, like a music video or something like that. Work on getting the merch back up, and just kind of doing all that stuff that, like, you should do as a band. You know what I mean? That, it kind of just, for me, I think just kind of gets away from you. You know what I mean? Just because
as far as, like, what I can tell, I mean, depending on what you're trying to do with like a band or what direction you're trying to do, it just, for me, it was always a back burner thing where I'm like, I hate having to think about, this having to have a plan to, like, release music, you know what I mean? Right. Or just like because, like, now, like, everybody who's releasing, like, records has, like, okay, so this song's dropping first, and this video's gonna do that, we're doing this and that. Like, you have to have that before even, like, planning to just release it. When I know, being a musician, when you write something, especially you have it recorded, like, you're like, I want to put this bitch out right now, because before it gets stale to you. And that's the thing, like, I talk about this so much, but we used to be shitty at that. Like, when we released our EP, like, the newest song on there was 3 years old, so it was fucking, like, to us was dated, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and, like, the music video came out the next year, and I'm like, this is cool, but, like, this would have hit when we wrote it, or like when it was so, like, stuff like that. But you have to think about, like, merch, like, it's what's gonna help you be able to make the next record. Like, you gotta pay for all this shit.
You gotta think about the sustainability aspect of it, which for us is, I don't want to say it's not something that we don't think about too often, but it's definitely, like, we're no longer just the 3 homies, like, just playing music together and, like, like Julian's living room anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing shit now, so it's like, we got to make something back to invest into what we're doing,
keep the momentum going.
Exactly, So, we got big plans for this year. Hopefully we'll fucking stick to them, and actually make some shit happen. But I'm just, I don't know.
It happens. I mean, this last EP, it took us over a year to get out.
And like what you were just saying, I was like, that's. With this EP, I mean, we've been sitting on these songs. We've had these songs for a minute, man. You know what I mean?
That's not too bad. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's, like, reaching the max end of, like, it. Like, it's like a year to a year and a half, like, of holding on to something. But, like, that's still, like, at at that, like, and long range.
I will say the holding on to it, I think, is good. I do think for at least a little bit, because, like, with the Americans EP specifically that we released in 2022, I think that one was our quickest turnaround ever. From, like, conception to the song to recording to release was like, we put it out there. And I feel like if you go back and listen to it comparatively to, like, the stuff we have out now, it's like we probably could, and
take your time,
like,
with it.
How we play it live, like Americans, and, well, we don't play the Times anymore, but those 2 songs specifically, like, completely different song that you listen to live, to where if it's like, oh, I love this song, these guys rocked it, and then you listen to it on, like, Spotify or something, it's like, this ain't the same song. It's a lot slower, and it's so, which is one of those things. But
that's cool. So y'all definitely take account, like, live performances, and that helps the song evolve.
Absolutely. A lot of our songs, like Do or Dial,
we shape it out now.
We practice like we're playing a live show every time.
I mean, because that's the goal, I think, initially, right? But at the same time, it's also, like, I don't want to... Luis told me as well. He's the one who told me this. It's basically, like, you don't want to play, like, too many live shows, because it's, like, you don't want to oversaturate, like, your your value, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to, if people know that the Deep End is going to play a show every 2 weeks or every month or something, it's going to make those people less likely to be like, oh, I want to go see them, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I can miss this one, I could go see the next one, or, oh, I know they'll be playing in a month from now and stuff. And I know I said that, and I just announced like 4 shows that we're playing in like 2 months.
I think it depends.
We have one show coming up.
They're all different like areas of like,
June 15th,
of, like
the only
town, you know, town. Cause you know, Halta, here, Fort Worth, and you said Richardson, which is
Dallas.
fucking, a whole nother group of people is going out to that.
Yeah.
You know, and then Growls, Arlington. You know, so like it's still, and then Dallas for 3 Links too. They're all still
Spread
different
out.
markets. I guess it's like the same market. You don't want to play too often. Like it's weird because like then I'll say that and be like, that makes sense to me, you know, like not play so often, create a demand for yourself, this and that. And then you see like some bands who, if they play every week they're gonna be pulling like people out here. So I'll you know, someone like Ballista or something, like especially like stuff in the hardcore scene, like Will, where are they playing? Like they're gonna
those people.
They're gonna get
You know
those
what
people
I mean?
to show up. Like so, it's. Again, it's just analyzing what the demand is for your band in your particular market for your genre of music. What people are coming out to like your type of shows. Okay, if it's the people that aren't coming out every week or show or whatever, it's like okay, like, like maybe I'll hold off, play one like later on. It's like what works best.
Yeah, and
for you.
I feel like we're still trying to figure out like what kind of venues work best. What kind of crowd are we really trying to appeal to? What kind of demographic? Are we trying to like put ourselves out for? We played a show in, was it March, February? When did we play the vending machine last? Our last vending machine show. It was March.
Yeah.
And that was probably, we've been playing since 21 live, and like officially,
3 years.
and I think that was the most fun I'd had playing a live show like ever. Yeah, even like last night was awesome as well, like full circle moment, but.
Yeah, the vending machine is
was
a
little house venue.
What is that?
So the vending machine is local. It's kind of like a little hidden Jim DM for address kind of place in Denton, Texas. It's near the Texas Women's University, and I'm friends with the owner of the place. And he had hit us up the day before New Year's initially, and we kind of played there and tested the water. It was really cool. I actually was getting over being sick at the time, so my voice was completely fucked, and I hated it. I thought I did terrible, but he was like, "Oh, you guys did great." And I'm like, "Sure, dude. I'm never gonna hear from this guy again." And then he messaged me like a month later and told us about another gig coming up with. We played with our friends, Brotherhood, the Paper Bears, and Hex Babam, which is kind of like a Scott Pilgrim cover / I think they had a few originals. Yeah. They were all really cool. It was a good show. But dude, that was just, I feel like that's kind of where we belong in a weird way. Like I love playing, like, especially like Houtham in that front room. I love like, I need that small.
So fucking happy they opened the small rooms.
And that's
because I mean the theater it's cool as far as the stage goes, but the room is so fucking huge.
It's overwhelming.
Like the post, you know what I mean? Like out there, the post. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like
R.I.P. the post.
You know?
That too.
Really? The post closed down?
Yeah. Dude, everything. I mean, you remember like the OG Lolas? Like OG Lolas. That was actually the first.
Well, they bounced the
first Lulu Winging show.
And that was like.
That was like our first real show.
Yeah.
Like that was. Like that's. I feel like that's like just little DIY venues and like small rooms and. Like, we played at Kiki's house, R.I.P. Kiki's. I know that's kind of a controversial subject amongst people. The venues, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We played one gig there. It was really fun, but, they had some shit happen. Anyways, places.
Moving on.
I mean, really. There ain't no reason. Cut this out. Cut this out.
We thrive in the small venues,
venues like that, I feel like, is where we get the most interaction. You know what I mean? Because like people like what we're putting down, but like that's where I feel like I'm literally feeding off the crowd.
Yeah. Well, people intimate. People intimate venues like, and just like any place where you're close enough to be able to see the band, but you're close enough around to other people. Like if you are crowded into like a place and it's a small place, but something about the energy, like if the person, even if you're like, I'm kind of chill at show, and I've had this happen to me because I'm like, I'm kind of chill at shows, I don't do nothing crazy, but then the person next to me like is jamming out hard, like it rubs off, and I'm like, oh, you know what,
it's infectious.
Like, it's kind of like a permit, like, oh, it's okay to be this fucking hype about something, like let me fucking do that too, like if I want to jump around, it's fine.
Let it all out.
It's like it's palpable, you know what I mean? Like you could you like almost feel it in the fucking air.
The connection, it feels like the energy from stage travels like throughout the crowd a lot easier in those like intimate venues. So, I've seen so many fucking cool people at small venues, and it's like it's been my favorite like fucking
it's a good time.
It was so fun, man. I mean, it's there's nothing more validating about like what you do than like finishing a gig at like a show like that, man. You know what I mean? Like just to, you know, like it feels like, you know, you have a reason. You know what I mean? Like this is why we're doing this. This is why is to play shows like this where everybody just has such a good time. And shout out local Obscene as well. He was there getting pictures, and I mean it's just like it really captured that moment. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be hard to top that for.
Denton's always been pretty big, like with house music. Like they come and go, you know, but like.
They're around.
You know like mean? Someone's always like has the idea of like, you know what, let's just do it here. They last for a little bit and then they go. Like I remember a show I saw at the time, it was a place called House of God, and I was like, I kept hearing shows about this and just seeing it. I'm like, this place looks kind of cool. And it was then when I finally went there, it was just a fucking house, and I'm just like,
what?
Okay, cool. But like it was cool because it was so fucking tiny. But this place was fucking packed. It was 2 floors, so like the staircase up was full of people just like seeing the band from top. So everybody could see the band, but the band had enough space for like their setup, and they had nowhere to move.
Oh yeah,
that's how many fucking people were there, and it was like one of like the best shows that I ever fucking remember seeing. I'm just like, this is fucking cool. Like again, and then. Also, just accessibility, because most of those house shows are very like inexpensive or free. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
the vending machine likes to keep it free because Caleb,
he's got a good punk ethos.
He's like, he doesn't believe. Yeah, shout out to Caleb. He doesn't believe in charging for house shows. He's like, you shouldn't charge.
Like you know what I mean? Like it's a really cool, especially like nowadays. Like I said, people like have to select like what they're spending their money on because everything is so fucking goddamn expensive that like, you know, if a show's expensive or even like again something they can't afford, like it's kind of tough to throw something. So that's why like last year we had like a few I think we had a monthly free event, so we had something called Rot Talk, which is like a small acoustic performance or something like that with songwriters, but we had that, you know, month after month. It's like, okay, there's one free thing that you can come to like every month. And then like now, like Lewis is like our collab Play It Slow is free. It's just like a hangout, like a DJ set. And then the Hardcore Fest we threw last year was free. And that was like at the end of the year, and we had like, I don't know if it was like 15, 16 bands or something like that. But from 3 o'clock, I think 3 or 4, it was opened up early to like when we finished, like there was a shit ton of people.
Just like crowded,
like, fucking cool. Man. Like, you know, so I do understand like that aspect of like, hey, like affordability is like, hey, I can actually go to something and just like have fun.
And there's other ways to make your money back, especially if you get creative with it. Like this place is called the Vending Machine because my man's has a vending machine outside of the house. Yeah. If I could put a buck in,
there's your hint.
You know what I mean?
There's your
hint. By the end of the night, he's like, you made like $90 or something. Sold out the Montuckies. Shout out Montucky. And you know, it's just. Yeah, I mean,
but exactly. it's a good like give back. It's pretty much that giving back to like.
It's for the people, man. It's for the community.
What are you doing tonight? I'm going to this house. You know, come with me, man. You know, we just go walk in there. You know what I mean? And see a couple of bands play.
It's tight knit. Like a window broke at a show, and we all go-funded. You know, the community put money in to fix it up.
Yeah, we fixed it up. Also, it helps that Denton is a college town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
like kids looking like
constant revolving door of bands and
which I think is why they've always like popped up like over there in that
absolutely.
area,
I mean, kids in the people like I mean, there's a lot of venues in Denton. There's a lot of little hole in the wall spots that rubber gloves, fucking legendary.
Rubber gloves.
Which we love the rubber room, the little room,
because
that's where we thrive the most.
The fucking, I didn't know the rubber room was a thing until like last minute. So we had what the fuck did we have? I don't remember. I remember I wasn't able to go to this one, but like we had somebody playing Andy's, and then something fucking happened to where like they lost power and like one of the headlining bands like amps blew up.
Oh shit!
Like it was like a fucking I don't know what the fuck happened, but something happened.
Was that recently when they were throwing that festival a few weeks ago?
It wasn't the festival. No. Actually, during Thin Line. Yeah,
during Thin Line because they moved everything from.
We moved everything from Andy's and we moved it to because they were like we can't give you any of the other rooms because we're doing Thin Line.
Yeah.
So he's like, but you can have the rubber room, and I'm like, dude,
what the fuck are you talking about?
We'll work with what we got, but it was. Like I saw like the picture, DJ was like, yeah, it went the fuck off.
Oh, you can back that room up, yeah.
That room, and the bar's right there.
Yeah.
So like people out there can like,
which I'm like, listen in,
listen
cool.
in. Yeah.
Like,
I went to like 3 shows there before I realized that there's like another room right by the bar, you know, and I'm just like, wow, man.
Well, I knew that was
I thought the rubber room was like.
Well, it's usually decorated with the piano.
Yeah, what the stage was. I was like, oh, that's the rubber room.
When we went to the little room, I was like, oh.
What is it? Yeah,
this is like storage over here. Yeah,
this is cool.
Because I think the first time I saw that area was we worked with Plus Fest last year, and they had like 2 vendors set up in there. I'm like, oh, it's just a little room, I guess. Normally they maybe have a couch in here or something.
They do.
I guess that's what this place is. But I didn't know they threw shows like there.
Oh yeah. We played a gig Halloween, not on Halloween, but last October. That was our first time getting to play there, and
at Rubber Gloves or the Rubber Room?
The Rubber Room.
At the Rubber Room at Rubber Gloves.
We played all 3 stages.
We've done the patio and the main
Rubber Gloves.
Yeah, that show was terrible.
Which one?
That show.
We don't talk about.
You ever had
that.
just like a?
Oh man,
it's like a terrible show.
Is it just like all like?
Yeah, it was a combination.
Sunday night, fucking
Sunday night.
We recorded the same day, so we were already tired. From recording.
And the headliner called out, so like nobody showed up.
Fuck.
So we were like playing in front of 4 people. We're all cranky. Our bass player at the time was like, he was so done for the day. He was sleeping in the green room. Yeah, we're taking the stage right now. Like we got to get out there. He's like waking up. It was fucking. It was bad, and it's at Rubber Gloves too. So it's like at a venue where you want to put.
Yeah, we should have shined bright.
Yeah,
but thank God no one was there. Because like
that was another.
We made it through though.
We did. We made it through. But that was my dad is very. I don't want to say invested in what we do, but he's very proud. He's very happy, and he was at that show. I remember he came up. He's like, "That was fucking terrible, man."
That's good.
Like, this is the worst show y'all have ever
tough
played.
Love.
And I was like,
"Tell it like it is."
Yeah. I felt it. You know what I mean? And
the vibe was.
But I will say that, and I'll look at the camera and say this: if you ever see us live and we suck. Please tell us that we suck, man. I feel like
be honest.
I feel like we don't hear that enough.
I
don't know if that's just me being
just tell Sam.
insecure.
Tell him he sucks.
I like that PSA. It's like I feel like we don't hear we suck enough. Like
I mean, really though. You know what I mean?
So like that actually, I think that conversation's been brought up quite a bit. Is the I've talked to within bands, but like I always talk like, oh, communicating wise, like writing, like, are you guys cool enough with each other to be like, hey, that's not good, you know what I mean? Or you right?
Well, yeah, we tell each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so like, and most bands that I see like have like a good chemistry are always like really cool with that. But I remember like when we were starting off, I've told people it's like initially like everybody was so fucking defensive because anytime somebody said that something wasn't good, you need to learn how to fucking say it, I think. Because, like, most of the time we're like,
they're your friends.
So we had that issue. Yeah, we would, like, not bring it up. And it's like, nah, man, that shit fucking
We've been like that since we've
exactly. But that's what I was going to say. It's like, with us, we've known each other for so long that, like, he could just kind of be a dick about it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
even last night, dude, fucking Surfing Bird.
I was fucking up Surfing Bird.
Surfing Bird.
Yeah, Sam, like, we fucked it up. Sam turned around and Drew's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But
all love though.
And then and then the other end of it is like, you know, if you're I feel like I have this, I bring this up every fucking podcast, but like at the end of the day, like if your bandmate's telling you that something's not good, it's because like it's their band too. Like you're trying to make a good song. Like you're all trying to.
I'm not saying
it means like it means that they think that you can get something better out of it.
Exactly. You know what I mean? We're not just saying it just to be dicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, dude, come on. You know what I mean? Like we're
all to be at your full potential.
We Trash Truck is a song. It's actually our most popular one, not the one that I thought was going to be.
I saw that, yeah.
Pop up.
Yeah. And so that one kind of took a lot on a life of its own with the new EP. And my original lyrics, they both were like, dude, that's terrible. I said something, what was it, like really really, really fucked up or something like that.
Something that,
And y'all were like,
got the words
what
right.
the fuck is that?
Yeah, I was like, don't say
ABC 1 2 3 ass lyric, bro. Look at, you know what I mean? And
It's so goofy.
it was one of those things where I was like, what?
No.
What? Come on, it's good. And I would ask a lot of people, and they're like, "Nah, that's terrible, dude." And I'm
No,
like, okay, cool.
I again, every time I bring up that story and this story, it always leads into this. And I remember, I wish I had that in my band at the time because they let through a cringy ass fucking lyric, and now I haunt me for the rest
and you
of my
listen
life.
back to it, and you're like, "Wow."
And I remember because someone asked me, they said, "What was it?" And I was like, "Oh, I can't remember." But it's literally like, "Is it cold outside where you left me because I see you shaking in your boots?" And I'm like, "You let me say the phrase, shaking in your boots, bro."
That's not that bad. I'm gonna be honest, that's not that bad.
I hate it so much.
Shaking your boots. That's. I
I
mean,
was like, "That's where like that's
It's like
where
it's like a country lyric.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's a shiver me too. Yeah, and I'm like, damn, like,
Chattering skeleton meme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
but it just because that's what I pictured,
Yeah.
literally like a chat.
I feel like that, but I also think that again, like he's like, "That's not that bad." It's
Yeah.
all subjective at the end of the day, too, man. Like,
Very true.
I hate our early music. I don't like it, and some people like. I was looking at Spotify artists, and like Mind Control was like the third highest streamed song this week. And I'm like, what the fuck? That song sucks.
We haven't played that song in 2 years.
It's years, man.
I
You know
love
what
that song.
And that's the thing,
You see, it's all subjective.
you can't decide
Exactly.
like after
Yeah.
you write something to put it out. I think the important part is to put it out.
Yeah.
And like once you do
Right.
that, then fucking like if you. What you've said, like you've already said, like this, second EP, everything you've released after that, you say has gotten better. So the fact is, like you writing that first EP led to you writing some, better stuff in your eyes. You know what I mean? So it is progress. So as much as like, fuck, like that's not, you feel like, especially, and it's always gonna be like to us, like whatever you write, you're gonna know, like, damn, that shit's not good anymore.
Yeah.
But at the time it was probably like the peak of what you were able to do. So then you
You
put
were
it
proud
out
of it at
and
one
still
point,
being,
yeah.
We were.
and being able
We're
to put
really
it
proud
out,
of it, yeah.
And I think that's just important to acknowledge it in that way, because you also get people who get stuck and try to figure it out and be like, I can write this better, and then nothing ever gets put out.
Yeah.
Because you're consistently getting better for the most part. And if you keep the attitude of like, well, I can write this better if I just wait a little longer, you're gonna keep just
That makes sense.
getting
Just
better.
pushing
And
it
that's
off.
Yeah, but it's
never
also
gonna become a
you
thing.
gotta have the mindset of like, obviously you can't rush perfection.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, like perfection isn't real.
Yeah.
What we do, you know what I mean? So it's like you have to find your version of perfection in imperfection
Yeah.
or whatever, if that makes sense. Where it's like, to somebody who listens to our stuff, like, yeah, we might sound terrible, you know what I mean? But somebody out there is obviously listening to what we're doing, listening to what
Yeah.
we're putting out. Like I said, a song that we're not a big fan of that we put out, somebody's out, except for Roberto. Roberto loves it.
I love it.
I do like the song. I'll go on. I love the song. I think
It's one of my
it's
favorite riffs. I've
something
ever made.
that I almost feel like I'm like, oh, I want to come back to it. You know what I mean? Or
It needs.
re-release
we need to
it.
revamp it.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's such an early song too, where
Mind
we
control
just
too, man.
Mind
you know,
Control.
yeah,
Electric
mind
Boogaloo.
control.
Mind Control Reloaded.
Yeah. And
Really quick,
Yeah.
I need to know who Barry is, man.
so
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was
Let
hearing
me grab a
this
beer
today.
for this one.
Oh shit! I was hearing this shit today, and I'm like, oh fuck! Like this is some shit here.
Yeah,
like I know this
you
song,
gotta
but I was
know.
like, oh, I'm gonna.
These are cool.
can I take one of these
You
Coors
can take, yeah,
Banquets?
yeah, absolutely. That's what they're there for.
Liquor?
Look at what DJ put in there. Yeah, pull that shit out and see what it is.
What are we looking at?
Oh, we're talking about Barry.
Rum drink mints, and look at what the other thing is.
And then we got what is
What
this?
is this?
Dude, this
Oh
song.
my fucking
He
god!
put that in
dude.
there. He's like, just in case your guests
Oh
want to drink
my
something. He put fucking
that,
absinthe in there.
No way.
Guess who's calling an Uber home? You know? Oh my god, dude! Absinthe.
Yeah, a little shot glass.
We're gonna taking shots?
I'll take a little rumple
More
shot.
like,
All right,
We're gonna take
more
a
like
shot.
my
Oh,
mind is
okay.
absinthe.
I'll go grab some.
We're about to operate heavy
Yeah, we'll do- you know,
machinery.
yeah, get some shots. We'll tell you all about Barry.
There you go.
Jesus Christ!
I'm just leaving all this shit.
Yeah, do it, leave it in.
About to break this glass.
There you go.
Prost.
Salud.
Mouth
Barely
wash.
in there, dude.
Who needs Colgate when you got Rumplemans?
Yeah, you've been drinking all night. You get the Rumplemans.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
My goodness. No, that is good though.
I had a friend who loved like that was her go-to shot, and I'm like, "There's something wrong with you."
That's
like,
just for sure. When that's your go-to,
like, she would start the night off and be like, "Let me take a rumble."
something got
shot.
knocked loose.
That was that tastes like my fucking 21st birthday, man. With fucking Rumplemans at the Bavarian Grill in Plano, Texas.
The Bavarian.
The Bavarian, just fucking German ass restaurant. Bring out the Rumplemans, man.
They say Guten Morgen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Whatever they say.
This is how they brush
I don't
their
remember.
teeth.
I don't remember what they say because I was drinking Rumplemans. So
Anyway,
Okay.
back on the
Okay.
topic.
Yeah. So yeah, before the shot break, I wanted to know who Barry was. Now Barry is the latest single that I've seen released to you guys, and just from what I could tell, some of the lyrics that I was making out while I was listening to it, like very aggressive towards a specific person. And I just didn't know if it was like a it's a real person or it's just like like a.
Let's say
It's not docs. Don't docs.
No, fuck it. No, fuck
it.
It's all public information. You can look up.
But it's a person. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not like a figurehead of like you make.
No,
it like,
absolutely.
let's-
He's a real guy. It's his real name. He's a real guy.
Do you remember
And he's really somebody that we knew.
a few months ago, maybe a year ago, there was those neo-Nazis that were protesting at the Fuzzy's Tacos in Fort Worth?
Torchies.
Oh,
Torchies.
okay,
Torchies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you know what? Do you know what we're talking about?
I don't know.
Actually, never mind. Docs him. He's a piece of shit.
It happened here in Fort Worth. It was at Torchies Taco, and there was a couple other things that they were doing. But yeah, they're neo-Nazis. You know what I mean? Armband, tan shirt, fucking douchebag face. You know what I mean? Just spreading hate, anti-Semitic, racist, like just like in the purest form of like being like a radical white supremacist, like fascist Nazi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as fucked as that sounds or controversial, like that's what he is. That's who he is. And this is a kid that we all knew. We went to school with him, went to high school with him. I personally, I had a class with him senior year. Took weight training senior year. I know you can't tell. I was in weight training, but I had a class with him there, and like I knew him and everything. And like I was doing hip hop and shit back then. Me and this motherfucker would just freestyle and shit. I wouldn't call him a friend, but at that time it was just like guy that I knew. See him in the hallway, say hey, what's up? And we actually ended up seeing him like a year or two ago at Julian and Braley's house. He came over for like a UFC fight night with a bunch of other people, and he was just there. And it was, at that point, it was all love, man. It was like, hey, good to see you, all that shit, and blah blah blah. We know this guy, right? We went to high school with him and stuff like that. And a couple months later, like maybe 6-7 months after that last time we saw him at the UFC fight, his roommate Braley came out, and basically I was sitting outside, I was smoking, and he's like, "Oh damn, dude, you hear about what happened to Barry?" And I'm sitting there, I'm like, he's
what
fucking
happened?
dead.
Fuck
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, no fucking way. And he just shows me this picture, man, and it's him.
Garbed out.
Yeah, just garbed out, like with the glasses, fucking can of Bear Mace in his pocket, just anti-Semitic sign, arm. I'm like, dude,
Looking like Hitler's.
what the
bitch.
fuck are you talking about? And see, and here's the thing, and
What?
I did just take a shot of Rumplemans, so I might get a little preachy here, but I have German heritage. You know what I mean? My last name is Schindler, and I got ripped on in high school all the fucking time. Nazi this, Hitler that, Hitler this, all that. You know what I mean? Just jokes and stuff. And I know it was nothing serious, but I got a lot of shit for being the German kid with the very German last name in high school, and like to know that he's really out there, like just being hateful, just being a fucking piece of shit,
Spreading
like,
a
we're
message
not
we
cool
do not
that, man.
agree
Like,
with at all.
Being a dickhead.
and I'm not trying to get like too heated about it and stuff, because it is something that like genuinely makes me fucking angry, and I do feel some type of way about it.
Well, that's crazy that like
And
Let the record
in
show
some way
the
you
deep
have to be like, oh, I'm against that. Like these days, why the fuck
Yeah, exactly,
do you have to
100%,
denounce
man.
a Nazi?
I know, but
you know
it's
what I
just
mean?
like it's one of those
so
things where
fucking
like I feel
stupid.
like people, I don't know, man, and I don't know if I'm just overthinking the situation, but it's like fuck him,
Yeah.
and
Fuck
like, fuck
Nazis.
everything that he stands for,
Fuck fashion.
And he's not the only one,
Like
that.
it's just it's anti.
Well, we were saying like it was a group of
Yeah, there was a group of
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a group
you know
of
what I mean?
people,
So, like,
man.
absolutely
Pieces of
just
shit.
going around just harassing people.
They
saying
went like
shit.
they were in Texas
You know what I
A&M
mean?
and
And,
just doing all
yeah,
this
it's
being
awesome.
bullshit.
It's terrible stuff, man.
Stupid.
They're bad people. He's a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's a piece of shit. And I'm like, I guess when I say like, I'm not trying to tiptoe around. But like I don't like this guy.
Listen to the song. Check out Barry. You'll know how we feel about him.
Listen to Barry. That's how we feel about this guy.
And I will say that, and that's like, I wrote the song initially, just afterwards, it was just off the rip. Like the lyrics and everything, that was one of the songs where I just, scribbled it out.
Yeah.
And didn't really think anything else of it. And I eventually went back and was like, we could do something with this. You know what I mean? And how we write most of our stuff is we just go to practice and just kind of riff it out. Like, because we usually sometimes, especially if we don't have a show, I'm burping, I'm sorry. If we don't,
I just got mouthwash burps right now.
If we don't have like a lot of shows like lined up or something, a lot of our practices are just like jam band. So what'll happen is like Julian and Roberto will just fucking, they'll link up, start jamming,
start making noise.
And I'll just start looking at lyrics and like listening in and maybe hop in here, hop in there, a little bit of freestyle, whatever. And the riff that you hear, we basically it's a little bit more polished and we really locked it in, but they were playing, that same riff that you hear in the song, and I was just like, yeah, that's it.
So you had like all this shit already pretty much like written out, and you were like,
I had the whole song ready to go before.
As soon as that shit came out,
I was like, we got
that kid. He immediately started writing like lyrics.
Wow.
I'm about to make a diss track.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm gonna call this fucker out, dude, because like he's a piece of shit and like he deserves it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it's like, even in the song, I'm like, hey, you can't fucking give in to hate or whatever, man. But it's like, fuck those people, dude. You know what I mean? Like people that genuinely have like a real sense of like real hate. Like I feel like there's a difference between like you strongly dislike somebody or whatever, and like you might have it, but like real
hate,
hate,
yeah,
like
that's
hate for
real
shit,
hate.
With when it comes to race or religion or whatever. Like when you genuinely hate somebody for that,
it's
like what are you doing?
No,
man?
we're too far past
I feel like
that.
it's when you genuinely hate strangers that something's fucking wrong with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, if you're judging, like if you genuinely, and again, like it's really hard to comprehend, especially like from someone who like
how does someone get to that point?
You try to get like how like I've ran into that where like people who've hated like the LGBTQ community, anything like that. I'm like, that's fucking. I'm like, why? And I've had like as I've gotten older, I've been able to have just talks of like why, like what does it?
I want to understand like how.
And nobody like, as far as like my experience, like nobody like had wanted to pinpoint why.
Why
like,
shit they heard from somebody else? Not thinking for themselves.
Like, that's irrational. You know? Like that's where you should see.
And
Which
we've had conversations like that where it's like when we think about it, we're like, dude, we fucking knew this guy. Like what went wrong? Yeah. And that's what's so scary about organizations like this and ideology when it comes to like this, like just pure hateful ideologies. Like, where does this kid got indoctrinated, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, we fucking grew up with this guy. Like, he wasn't our best friend, but like, I knew him.
We went to school with him.
Some trust fund kid from Plano, dude.
Kid from Plano, being a Nazi.
Yeah. It's
fuck that guy. You know what I mean? Like,
when you try to figure out like, what happened? Like we were around the same school. Like it looked like we were same. You would say not stuff, but like we would hang out each other and shit like that. And you see like where they end up or like what they're talking. Like what the fuck? Like where did that come from? And it's hard because like you won't like.
Maybe you spent too much time on.
I feel like it's not that uncommon. I feel like maybe you're hitting a topic that
it's just somebody that we know type shit. You know? But
it happens a lot because you don't know what else like is going on, so what they're being fed or this or where it stems from. But it is fucking weird to see that especially and it hits hard. I think that's when it really hits like home because yes, we've seen like demonstrations. I think like you've seen demonstrations with like Nazis popping up here, and it's like that's fucking crazy.
But it's like,
but then you're like, wait, hold on.
I know that fucking.
I know
guy.
that
school with that kid. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's one of those things where
it's crazy.
It does. It hits.
It brings it home, and it's just like, oh shit, this shit is fucking real. And I think it is sometimes. I think an issue where you have that where you like it's hard to empathize with you. Dying?
No.
Cut the camera over there. Everybody look at him. I spiked the
Damn it! I did this.
With the cat hair.
I did this for the local obscene. The local obscene fucking interview too. Where I choked on my beer and I took out fucking water.
But yeah, it brings it up. But I think it's really that's the difficult part sometimes when people like to set themselves apart from like those issues and stuff like that, it's because it doesn't bring it home.
It's very easy to disassociate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until, like you said, until you know the fucking guy in the crowd, or like you know him, but it's just like what.
Like how,
what's
like,
going
what
on
fuck?
here?
Yeah,
I went like I broke bread with this guy. We're freestyling.
We smoked a blunt together. Not gonna lie, yeah.
Smoking weed with him.
How
and shit.
closer
I'm like,
can you get to a guy?
and it's just like, what happened, man?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it stems from that. Me getting a bunch of shit for being a fucking. And again, when I say got a bunch of shit, like I'm not trying to sit here and say that like I got hated on for being German, but there was a lot of like. Schindler,
a lot of jokes.
A lot of jokes.
but it's just weird because it brings you back to be like, what the fuck? Like I was getting this shit, but the fucking Nazi was right there.
Everybody's
exactly.
like nobody wants to talk about it, right?
Exactly.
Like,
He's actually doing that shit, and nobody's talking about it.
I knew his roommate at the time, who was somebody that we were pretty close with, who was just like, I can't, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, fucking condemn his actions.
Do not associate
Telling me
yourself
the
with
fucking
somebody
piece
like
of
that.
call him out.
House
All
and
his shit.
all that
Badass,
stuff.
yeah.
He's like, well, I can't legally. I'm like, dude, fuck off,
Dude,
man.
if I found out my roommate was that, I'd take his shit and be like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah,
shit in the front
I'm not
yard.
one for
Fuck
saying
you.
that violence is the answer, but when they're fucking Nazis,
Yeah. The deep end.
violence is the
Like
answer.
what is?
To any Nazis out there, the deep end, just know it's on site.
Yeah,
You fucking pull up, it's on site. You're gonna get a symbol.
That's it.
You're gonna get a symbol to the fucking cranium.
You may beat my
Yeah,
ass,
cum laude.
but, I ain't gonna
Yeah.
go down without giving it a fucking.
That's so
giving it
fucking
a whirl.
wild. But that perfectly makes sense why
It
the
is.
song is so
It is.
aggressive. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
And it is. It's a call to action.
Yeah.
It's a fucking.
It's been going on for a while, especially in this
Yeah.
area,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I mean, you guys.
so that that's Barry.
It's very.
This last song
Also,
is,
Dead Kennedys, like, Nazi punks fucking.
Fuck
and,
off.
Yeah, just
Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
We're
dude.
not. We don't put up with it, man. I mean,
He does have a
playing
kick-ass
fucking-
guitar solo, so y'all should check out Barry.
Yeah, go stream Barry. Go listen to it, man. It's a touchy one, but it's good. It's punk.
It's punk.
It's
I
very
mean, you again, it's feeding right into like what punk is, at the root of it. Like
Speak
this
your
is
mind.
the type of shit that you're
Yeah.
speaking your mind. And I like the way you're talking about the way it came to like just be created. It's like, oh, this shit happened immediately, and this was my genuine like reaction of what I
to
wrote
it,
down
yeah.
to is and
It's very uncensored.
also what it-
There's no filter on it.
and it's cool because it didn't change from writing it. Like you wrote it out, and it's still like, no, I still feel this
Yeah,
fucking way. And it's
absolutely.
like one of those
absolutely.
words,
That's
like, yeah,
not gonna change.
yeah. You know what I mean,
I mean, we're fighting fire with fire. It made us feel a certain way, and we had to.
Our fire's
express
like
it.
more justified.
Yeah, they're gonna be public.
Yeah.
They're gonna be public with their message.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
be public with our message
Right.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it then. You know what I mean?
Fuck
I got
it.
nothing to hide. I got no. Fuck them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all it is. At the
You
end.
hear that?
But-
Fuck you.
This is the Nazi hate section of the podcast. Talk shit about them.
talk shit about
Talk shit about all of them. Fuck
Like,
you.
Yeah,
Pieces of shit.
But that's what that one's about. And that one was originally we did kind of toss around the idea of like putting it on the EP because we had it written I think before the EP came out, but I don't know, everything just kind of fit into that one. We're like, we'll just release it.
Also,
a month later,
the
something like
cover.
that.
He drew that.
I did draw the cover.
Our little demon guy knocking out Adolf Hitler. That's
Which,
that's a cool.
Did you the little demon guy, like, is that's you came up with the concept of that?
And it's not Toy Machine.
It's not Toy Machine.
Okay.
It's not Toy Machine.
No, I was.
Please don't sue us.
I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know what it was,
Yeah.
but I was scrolling through something and saw something similar to it, and I'm
You're
just
like,
like,
You've seen him,
like,
yeah. You've seen
That's
that.
the reaction
yeah,
we do want. Is we
Okay.
want people to see Toy Machine and be like, oh, that's the.
Yeah, no.
Let's collab. Let's collab Toy
Look at
Machine.
what it
You wanna
was. I remember
collaborate?
seeing a picture of it and be like, oh,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Toy
Okay.
Machine. Toy Machine. If you want to make a skate deck, collaboration. We're open to it if you want. Don't sue us, please. Thank you.
So the first EP, the second one, the one we just released, No Small Talk, and the cover for Barry is all stuff that I've drawn, and then the Monster Mash cover and the Americans were both made by different people. Louise actually is the one who made the Monster Mash cover and took the original art from the EP. And
They
moved it
did.
all
I
around.
thought Billy Blaze made
Did his
that.
thing.
It was Luis.
Billy Blaze is the one who like took the image of like the cereal hand,
Oh yeah.
and then Louise took it and put the demons around and like kind of crisped it up and made it what it is.
Okay.
So it was a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
A bunch of people we know. And shout out Billy Blaze.
Shout
And,
out.
uh,
Southwest Stepco.
Shout out for
Post
Steph
Stepco,
always, man.
Q
You know what I
Studios.
mean?
Snap, crooked
He knows.
crooked
Louise
tooth.
knows. You know,
Yeah.
Louise knows we're glazing him all the time. And I love you.
I love you.
It's one of those things where, I don't know, my art style, my drawing, it's all crude and shit anyway, so I just figured it kind of fits the vibe. And, I guess we've been, like, kind of looking for, like a mascot or something like that, or, like, a symbol, you know what I mean? And right now, like, what we've been doing is we kind of have, like, the words, the deep end, and, like, the crude font and everything like that. The No Small Talk shirts, that's my writing for...
Really?
Yeah, that's my writing for the EP.
So I didn't.
Everything like
I was wondering about that because I saw the song title and I saw like the shirts. Yeah. Because even I just saw them last night and I'm like, wait, like, what came first?
So I will say this, like the EP title and everything. We'll go hot take here. Luis, he might watch this.
We're setting the record. Yeah, the phrase.
So the phrase wasn't us. It was definitely Luis. That's Luis's brainchild. Is the No Small Talk thing and. I remember it was just one time we were recording. I can't remember what we were recording specifically, but we were there just working, and we were just talking about like the saying and everything. You know what I mean? Like no small talk. Like we're here to work. You know what I mean? Fuck the bullshit. Fuck the banter. Like let's get it done and stuff like that. We kind of just really leaned into it, and then that's when he put the deco up in the hallway. It said no small talk, and it kind of was like a little back and forth thing, and then we wrote the song.
Yeah.
And we were like, we got to make it, it's like a 40-second song. So it's very just in your face, it's no small talk.
Yeah.
No, all that shit. And so we kind of just built it around that, because the EP itself, I think is, like 12 minutes or something like that. It's very quick. There. It's not long. And our CDs and stuff, which I'm going to try to get more of to sell, but... I threw some bonus tracks on there because I was like, it's too quick. Yeah. It's like people are gonna buy the CD for $10.
We did sell out all our merch last night.
Yeah, we did. We sold a lot of merch last night.
$1 a minute, man.
Cool. So, me and Luis, and we talked about it a little bit and everything. And I told him, I was like, dude, it's just inspiration, because I was like, I'm not trying to like make it sound like I'm stealing anything, but I was like, dude, we're kind of like a Crooked Tooth band where we've never recorded anywhere else, man. You know what I mean? I fuck with Louis heavy. Me and him, I feel like at this point kind of he knows me. Mm-hmm. Like when we go and we record, like he kind of already know. Like I feel like at this point, especially with this last
he's got it
single,
down for sure. Yeah,
he knows us, man. You know what I mean? This is our 3rd, 4th year, like consecutively just going up there to get shit done. And he's just, dude, he cultivates this environment up there at Crooked Tooth where it's like, as much as I do want, we have other people that want us to record with them and stuff, and we do need to explore those options, but like Crooked Tooth is fucking home, man. You know what I mean? And with how far we've come with our sound and music, and how far he's come with, like, like I just said, like kind of cultivating the environment, making everything just like better. And it's like, it's more than just, recording music and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's almost like it's like Noise Rod, you know what I mean? It's turning into this like collective, you know what I mean, where you guys are just kind of meshing together and turning it into a business, for lack of a better term, and also just like a place. Like it's like a word that like holds like a bunch of different meanings and stuff for certain people, you know what I mean? And it's just like a well-oiled machine. Yeah. And he knows us. He knows what we look for. He knows how we record. He knows us, and it's just I don't know, man. It's such a cool place, and I feel like we wouldn't be where we are now without him. You know what I mean? And he's really kind of, I don't want to say he's grown with us because that motherfucker's so busy. I'm sure he sleeps and dreams about work. You know what I mean? And
yes,
it's one of those things where exactly, you know what I mean? Like his downtime is still like, I think the only time I've seen him not working is when he's at the gym, and I'm like, you're still working
in the massage chair.
And even then, he's just thinking about like, I got a podcast at this time. I need to record these guys. And so he's it's us, man. And so I think No Small Talk was just like, this is our like, I don't want to say homage to Crooked Tooth, but like it's like, and I say this is how far we've come. We don't have a ton of stuff out, but that's like the culmination of everything that we've been doing. Yeah, was the No Small Talk EP. It's a lot of shit that he's leaned into. The No Small Talk podcast, Luis, for fuck's sake, dude, have us on the No Small Talk podcast. No brainer. You already know. All right, so, but it's one of those things, man, where I love the guy to death, man, and he's really helped us, grow our sea legs and stuff, and able to go out and everything like that, and yeah, I'll glaze him all day, man.
No, he's a good person to have around. And you need to have people like him around who make, if you start being lazy, you will feel lazy hanging out with him. I'm just like, you know what I mean?
Like, where have you guys been? You gonna come back? And,
little shit where I'm so fucking terrible. I have so many good ideas, and then I'll fucking just like tell it to him, and he's like, hey, and then he'll follow up with me. I was like, oh, how was this? And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't get started.
Oh yeah, by the way, I don't remember.
Like, wait a minute, I haven't got started. But
it's like you need somebody like that in your corner, somebody who knows you, but at the same time is able to like coach you.
Exactly.
And for like lack of a better term, you know what I mean? Because he knows, man.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for so fucking. But he himself is learning and growing and exploring all these different avenues and stuff like that. And I'll say it again, have us on the Small Talk podcast. Jesus Christ, I'm asking you this again.
Our EP's called that. You have a podcast called that. Let's make this happen.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Well, you guys seem to have cultivated like a good team yourselves, like with how you understand each other and write, and like I said, this dynamic just fucking works. You know what I mean? And
we're family, man.
And I think that's what you want in like a band. These are people you plan on spending like a shit ton of time with. So you better fucking.
If you can't have fun with it, then what the fuck you do?
Yeah, like that's at the root. Like it's what it should be. You should be able to just enjoy each other's company. Like you should be able to just have those long ass jam sessions where you play, then just fucking hang out, and then just start playing again later.
Yep.
Or just or just genuinely being around each other, because that's the only way you'll make that relationship grow,
chemistry,
and and build the chemistry and be able to understand each other. But I think you guys did a good job, like, and have done that, and it's cool that you guys have known each other for so long, and now like creating stuff still together. So that's
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I want to thank you guys for stopping by, man. This is fucking cool.
Well, thanks for having us again.
So you guys have some shows coming up. Do you want to play?
We do. Yeah. So to plug everything, all right, we got 2 shows in June and July, or 2 shows in June, 2 shows in July. I know we'll be playing at the Halton Theater June 15th with you guys here at Noise Rod. We'll be playing 3 Links on June 27th with Panther Revival and Treehouse Cabaret. And we'll be playing July 20th at Growl Records with Treehouse Cabaret and the Grand Dams. I think they have one other act that they're working on, so TBD on that. But, follow us on Instagram. We're at the Deep End Band, all underscores. Follow us on SoundCloud. Give us a listen. And I'll say it. I'm just going to say it. We are currently looking for a bass player. We do not have a permanent bass player. Shout out James from Brotherhood. He's been filling in. He filled in with this gig yesterday. But, feel free to shoot us a DM, or you can send us an email at thedeependsucks@gmail.com. And just let us know. We're holding auditions and stuff, so we are looking for a new bass player. Fucking thanks for having us out, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for stopping by. I'm glad we got to do it again, and I got to have you guys here. It feels a little bit easier, out here than the apartment, having to move stuff around, but I'm glad you guys are still doing it. And it's fucking sick. So, thank you for stopping by. This has been episode 109 with the Deep End. Fuck Barry. We will see you.
Fuck Barry.
Shout out to